Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Teresa with TH Creates, and this is part 4 of my Frida Tag series. This will be the last tutorial video before I post the completed tag book. So I'm almost done with it. This is actually the last full tag that I need to complete, and then I've just got to go through and make some additional changes to some of the existing tags and kind of zhuzh them up a little bit, make them a little bit more fancy. So anyhow, getting right into it, I wanted to bring back the the tea dye and distressed, I always have to be really careful saying this, distressed stain spray inks from Tim Holtz. So I wanted to bring those papers back and show you additional ways that you can use them. I know I showed you some different techniques that you could use in part 3, and then in part 4, I wanted to show you some additional things that you can do. So I have this lovely sugar skull stamp that I got from, I believe it was West Coast Stampers at a convention years ago, and I wanted to incorporate her into this book. And so what I've done, just like with the Frida stamp, I stamped on the plain white paper before I went and did the actual dyeing process. And it worked great. It didn't bleed or anything, but the ink dulled from getting wet. And so while these are still usable and I'll probably use them in projects coming up, I didn't want these for this particular tag because I wanted something much brighter. So what I did was I found a piece of paper that I really liked, and I went ahead and stamped the image again on this paper to see how it would stamp. Now my concern was, and it was valid, is that with this one, stamping before I dyed the paper, because in the process of dyeing this paper, I crinkle the paper, and I knew it was going to create a lot of texture. So beforehand, by stamping, I'm stamping on a flat sheet of paper. And so I knew that I would get a nice good image, a nice clear image. Now, after I knew that with the texture on the paper, I would not get as clear an image. However, I'm happy with the image that I got, and I really, really like the way the ink is still nice and bright. Some of this didn't stamp clearly here. I'm going to cover that up, so that's not important to me. But I think that even if I wasn't going to cover it up, I'm still happy with how it's stamped. I still think that it's a nice distressed look because I still got a pretty clear image on this paper. So anyhow, I've got that. I prepared my background. So this will be the background. I wanted purple in this particular tag to really shine through. So I went ahead and I found a piece of that background paper that had a nice purple in it that I really liked. And so I went ahead and applied it to the tag. And then I wanted to use this sugar skull. I wanted to go ahead and fussy cut her out and pop her up on this tag so she's a little bit raised. Because this paper is so thin, I went ahead and put a black piece of just cardstock on the back of this so that it would be a little bit sturdier when I popped it up, and it wouldn't be floppy or anything, because I think I'm going to put it up on foam dots and it'll be nice and sturdy, and it'll show off that background and it'll add some dimension. And I'm just cutting. I'm not going to cut exactly on the, well, that kind of got on the edge. I'm not going to cut right on the edge. I'm cutting a little bit away from it, so there'll be a little bit of a border around it. I'm going to ink it up anyway with a little bit of that black soot on the edges, so I'm not really worried about it. Let me see. I am not the best fussy cutter by a long shot. But I'll give it a go, right? Let's see here. I still want her to have a neck, so I think that I'm just going to kind of end like this. I don't know, maybe I should go ahead and go up. I'll go ahead and go up. That might look weird. I don't know. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and ink the edges, and I've got to really get another foam for this. It is past time for me to get in here and really clean up all of my tools. Like, I have a pair of scissors that I can barely open because I use it to cut my foam tape and stuff, and it just, they're sticky. I really need to come in and do some tool maintenance pretty quickly. Let me grab my foam tape. I'm going to put that on the back. Just curious, how often do you guys do maintenance on your tools? I mean, do you go ahead and take care of it after every project, every, you know, month, annually? Just curious. I think I do it. I don't know what it equates to, like what the time frame is, but I think I just do it once I finally get annoyed with them not working properly. That is kind of weird. It's kind of weird for this. So I'm just going to cut that little bit off. Here. We gave her a haircut. She'll be fine. Sorry, I'm working here and not paying attention, and I had it out of frame. I hope it hasn't been out of frame too long. I am so bad about doing that. I just get going, and I'm looking at it, and I can see it. Why can't you? I'll look up at the camera and realize, oh, completely out of frame. Goodness, I'll get used to this eventually. All right, I'm going to go ahead and place her. Well, see, look, and now all this purple is covered up anyway. Let me place her a little bit lower and see if maybe, look, if her head wasn't so big. Oh, well, I know it's there. We got a little purple on the edge. It'll be fine. But the main reason is because I want to put these guys here. These were my inspiration ribbon. I think I showed in the beginning, the very first video. This was my inspiration ribbon that I picked up that made me, that started this whole mess of tags that I had to do something to use that ribbon. So I'm going to pop her up, but I do want her a little bit under here to hide some of that. But anyhow, yeah. Okay. That'll be fine. Pull this off. Oh, I got to get my Fabri-Tac ready. My Fabri-Tac is the bane of my existence. I like using it because I like the way it adheres fabric and ribbon, but it is so thick and it comes out so slowly. And it just, yeah, it annoys me. I will probably edit most of this part out. I should have had it ready beforehand. And you have got to have some grip to get this out. And maybe it's not everyone. Maybe this is just me. Maybe there's something else I should be doing with my Fabri-Tac to make it a little easier to use. So you'll notice that this is on, this is connected with the turquoise and then the purple. And I cut 3 of these out and then I just took them to the sewing machine and stitched them together. I stitched them together so they'd be one long purple piece. All right. And then I am going to bring in more of those flowers that I showed you in the last video that I chose some purple ones. And I'm using some of the bigger ones for this. And I chose some that had a lot of purple. I went ahead and I clear embossed them so they had that nice shine to them. And then I wanted to make a piece here for her hair. And I think that I am going to build it up here. So I only want to use half of that. And I think that I do like this piece. I'm going to build it up by halves, and I really like that dark purple, but I like this. Yep. Okay, so let me set those aside. Continue building. So that's too close. And I think I want to use this, and this is super dark. So I think that I'm going to go with this with that little bit of purple in there. And I'm going to cut a little bit lower. No, I need to cut more. Here we go. I'm going to round that up a little bit. I don't want such sharp lines on this. And then she is going to go there like this. I'm not loving these sharp edges. See if I can round some of these off. All right, there we go. I'm just going to hit some of these bottom parts down here. I am going to glue this one down. Try to add some shape. Let me see if I can use my brush. Kind of curl these up a little bit, give them a little more shape. Want it to have some dimension. I'm going to nestle this guy in there. And then I am going to take a small piece of this foam tape and pop this little guy up. Let's see, where are my nasty scissors? The ones that have tape on them already. So pretty. And then I'll continue to kind of curl these, mess with those a little bit. And then there you go. And that is it. I think I'm done with this one. What do you think? I really want the highlight to be this image and then these guys down here, you know, and I don't, that's why I didn't do just a really bright, bold background. I wanted something a little bit more muted in the background, and I really think that this turned out nice and pretty. All right, now we'll move on to the other side of the tag and the next technique. So another way besides stamping on the actual background paper, that dyed paper, you can also, I know that we did some clear embossing and really brought out the colors in these, but you can also emboss on it. So for my next one, you can also just do like a colored emboss or a gold emboss, and that's what I did. So I took this image again, right here, this Frida that I got from that West Coast, or no, Lost Coast Stampers. And I did some emboss, and what my idea or my vision was to emboss this in white, cut it out, pop it up right here, and then again use some flowers in a different way. So these are not embossed to make those colors pop, but I did stamp and emboss on the paper and then fussy cut these flowers out. So that's what makes this a little bit different. And so I wanted to create her headpiece with these, and I wanted it to be white. So that's why I did the gold and the white flecks behind it. Those are a shimmery, like a pearlescent white. They're not a solid white, if you can see that. And I used that same Prima Metallics watercolor pad that I've been using. It also had a metallic white, and I don't see it now. It's somewhere in the chaos. Anyhow, I've referenced it in other videos though. So I wanted to do the white. Now, the problem is that I got this nice black paper and I did the white, but look, it was just embossing crappy. Like I couldn't get the embossing powder off or anything. And then I thought, well, duh, because you're not actually using the static cleaner. So I do have one of those anti-static pads with the powder in it that's supposed to help remove all the excess. And so I stamped another image, and it did better. A lot of this that you see right here is because of the little fibers that are on my stamp from some of the from the wipes that I'm using. They're not the ones that I typically use. They were a different brand, and they're leaving a lot of little fibers on the stamps after I clean them. So I need to go back and make sure that they're a little bit cleaner. So it was picking up some of the embossing powder, but I did get a better image with this because I used that little anti-static pad and it stamped really well. But then once I got it on there, I was like, I feel like I lose a lot of the detail. And so then I wasn't actually thrilled with it. Then I went ahead and stamped in a clear on this black. And the detail on this, see, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Was much better. So I think that I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to cut it down so that it fits on here nicely. I'm going to round the edges and then I will be right back. All right, I'm back. So off camera, I wrestled with my Fabri-Tac again and I attached some ribbon to, some lace to the bottom of that. I really like this pretty black lace that has the roses on it. And then that's what it kind of looks like. It kind of gives it a little bit of a border on the bottom as well on the other side of the tag. But I went ahead and wrestled with the Fabri-Tac, got that glued down, and then popped up this panel, cut down this panel, rounded the edges, and then popped it up with some of that foam adhesive. So she's ready to go. And now I've got flowers that I wanted to place. And again, these flowers are not embossed in the clear emboss to bring out the colors like on these guys. These flowers, I did a nice gold emboss. So I brought out several of my flower stamps and then just stamped some images and then cut them out. I have some dahlia here, and then roses, obviously, and then some other type of just flower. I'm not even sure what that is. This looks like it might be some sort of a Cosmo or something, maybe. You see, that's another rose, but that one's in purple. Let me get that kind of spread out, get a base going. I feel like I need more orange. Let me see. Got some more of that pink. I think I'm going to pop those up. You know what I would like? Maybe some blue. Maybe some blue in there. Let's set those aside. That would be a nice pretty blue, and that would be a nice green. I think I can sacrifice this. I will sacrifice this. I'm going to stamp on that side. Okay. Let me see my flower stamps. Here's one. I don't think I used any of these last time. I used some of these for the roses. But you know what? That's a nice little stamp. I'm going to use that little stamp. Okay. I'm going to use this little guy real quick. And I'm going to go ahead and do this off camera, but I'm going to go ahead and heat emboss a little bit of green, a little bit of blue. So I have those as options in this as well. All right, so I have stamped and heat embossed those green and blue sections, and that is the color I think that this headpiece needed. That is absolutely beautiful. So let me try some of that there. Maybe one of these guys over here. I'm probably going to put these up on foam tape, pretty sure, so that there's some dimension in here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's an odd number. Can't have that. I wonder if on this one it might look okay with some of these embossed. I don't know. I don't want her looking like she's wearing a flower basket. Last time I was worried about helmets, and this time I'm worried about a flower basket. There's another pink flower. I don't know. All right, let me take them off. Maybe this is too big. Maybe that's part of the problem. Okay, let's start a little smaller. But I did want some of the pink. You know what? These are lines, so I can make, because they were scribble lines. So I am going to make this, there, a little smaller. Problem solved. So here and here, Those are good. And then, yep. Maybe I don't know, a little bit under here. We tuck one under here. Okay, let me start popping it up and see how this works. But I do think that that's that color we needed. Do I need some orange? I don't think I do. I don't think I need some orange. I don't think that's necessary. All right. Let's take my nasty scissors. These sticky. See, they've been through it. These scissors have seen some stuff. And they're stuck to my table. I will fuss over this forever if I don't just do it. Just commit. This is the part of the whole process that takes me the longest. It's the details that go in after I've got kind of the base done. You know, that's the part that it's fussing with these little bits. Coming up with the ideas and the vision for what I want once I see all my stuff laid out, that's not ever the issue. It's really just the detail work. I should just stick with doing bases all the time. Okay. Maybe not all of them needed to be popped up. Maybe if I had one flat and then one popped up, that would be a better option. And I think this guy is nice, but he's just too big. So what if I did? Nope. Okay. See, I don't think I should have put foam tape on everything. Get off my fingers. She's gonna look like a chicken. Like a rooster. Okay. All right, sorry, I had my pen in my mouth and I keep doing that and I need to stop it. That's gonna get me into some serious trouble one of these days. It's not a good idea. Do not do as I do. I take this pen out and then hold it in my mouth sometimes, and that is just an accident waiting to happen. I have really got to stop doing that. Let me see. Yep. Yep, yep. Ah, just did it again. I'm doing it right now. Okay, stop. Nope. There. Layers and color and lots of fun. Yay. Okay. And then I've got this butterfly, and I think that I am going to attach it right there, or right here. Right here. What is it with the lower right hand corner right here that just seems to work? All right, I'm gonna let that dry and then I'll fluff his little wings up. Okay, and then I have some of these gold enamel dots. Let me get another one of these trays. Pop some of these in here. And I think I am, oh no, where is my jewel picker? I am going to place this around the card. Found it relatively easy. Okay. These I got these from Pink Fresh, these little gold dots. It's Pink Fresh Studio. These have got to be my favorite, I think. These little dots. They were the ones, that was the same ones or same brand that I used for that other tag, the other Frida tag. Okay, let me clean off that tip because obviously. Let me see if I can find some medium-sized. Maybe another little one right up in here. I don't want it directly in the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I like odd numbers. That's 9. What do we think? More? I really want to keep them up around here, and I think that that looks good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think it looks good. All right, I'm going to glue those down, and then I'll be right back. All right, she's done. I went ahead and glued those down. You can still see that some of the glue is underneath these beads, and it'll dry clear, so I'm not worried about it. It's hard to get just the perfect amount out, so sometimes there's a little bit overflow whenever you smush those down. So there they are. Look at that. I want you to really see the detail, so I'm going to bring it in kind of close. I'm really glad that I went with the black emboss. I really think that that looks nice. And then added the butterfly down there. So this is that dyed paper with gold embossing on it and images, butterflies and flowers. And then on the other side, we used the dyed paper as a background and then also stamped and popped this up. And then the technique that I used in video 3 or part 3 is the clear embossing that entire image so that it really pops, those colors shine. So that is it. That is the end of the part 4 video for these Frida tags. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that even if you decided not to make some of these papers, I hope that this inspired you to use some of these same techniques with some of the papers that you have in your stash and that you were inspired to create with me. Thank you so much for your support. I really love my subscribers. I think I'm up to 1,800 now, which is just mind-blowing to me. But I really appreciate all of your support. Please give me a like and add a comment if there's something else that you would like to see. Until next time, bye.